Hey everyone, it's Aaron Schechter from the Wet Shaver Review and 365shaves.com coming at you today with a special request. One of our members, Daniel Sutherland, who I always knew he kind of was in to the soap making business, but I didn't realize he was taking it to the next level, that he was actually going to production, to market, and that he was going to be selling his soaps and individual fragrances. Now, I was surprised a little bit when he contacted me and said, would I be interested in doing a review on this? I said, absolutely. I said, that's what the Wet Shaver Review is for, and that's what 365 Shaves, we have a whole review section. If you go to our site and you look at it, you'll see a whole tab that says reviews. That's what we do. We do reviews, as well as shaves of the day and tips and techniques and all that good stuff. So what made it so interesting to me to do this this review of Diamond Bar soap, though, by the way, P.S. that's the name of the company, Diamond Bar Soaps, is the fact that it is a melt and pour soap, aka a lot of people call them glycerin soaps or glycerin based soaps, which is a misnomer. All soap has glycerin in it. This is really more of what we would call a melt and pour soap. And what I found really interesting about Daniel's scent selection for his melt and pour soaps was they were so traditional. Not that there's anything wrong with trying to be hypermentholated or trying to smell like, I don't know, I'm not trying to call anyone out here, but like, I don't know, suntan lotion and, you know, magic tonics from the 1800s. Nothing wrong with having niche type of scents, but I really liked it. Some of the names of the soaps that, you know, were thrown at me: Bay Rum. Okay, that's pretty simple. Mahogany. Pretty straightforward. I like the simplicity of it. I like the idea of it. Now, when you first get your puck, okay, now let's get right kind of into the review itself, okay? I look for packaging, scent, lather, and glide. So when you first get it, and I talked to Daniel a little bit extensively about, you know, certain things with the soap and how it will go to market, you're going to get something like this, okay? This obviously is not the soap I reviewed today. This one is still untouched and still in the package, exactly like you would get it if you were to order it from him. This is the Bay Rum scent I'm holding. Melt and pour puck with a little nifty black, I haven't gotten down to that level, obviously. It's only my first use today of this soap. Mustache, probably glycerin or melt and pour based as well, kind of in the middle of the soap. Kind of nifty, kind of catchy. Now, for packaging, he had said to me that this is how you're going to get it for now. He's looking into acquiring aluminum tins to actually sell them down the road with the soap in an aluminum tin. But for now, when he sells them, you're going to get them just kind of as a refill puck. So when I have to talk about packaging, I have to talk about a Ziploc bag. Unfortunately, I'm not crazy about that for many reasons. Number one, your soap that you just spent your money on can get nicked, it can get scuffed, it can get scratched, which all at the end of the day can become soap loss. It could become, when you put it into a container, it may or may not fit properly, and you might have some dead spots where it accumulates either water or lather type of a thing. I'm going to have to go neutral on this one. I'm going to have to straight up say I'm going to be neutral on the packaging, and we have to see what's down the road if you can get this into aluminum tins. There's nothing wrong with selling it as a refill. Heck, tons of companies sell refill pucks all the time. Not a problem. I just can't give you any kudos on or any, like, you know, high five like that's an awesome package, because we're just talking about a Ziploc bag at this point. Okay, what I did was, and this was actually pretty, just a heads up, this is pretty special that I actually use this because I've had this for a very long time. I reviewed today the mahogany scent, and it actually is living inside of my Van der Hagen bowl. My Van der Hagen bowl has never had a soap in it in its entire existence, including the Van der Hagen soap that came with the kit. So for your soap to take a seat inside of my Van der Hagen bowl, which I used to, or at least up until I got my scuttle and my brush pre-soaker from Robert's Feats of Clay, this has never been used for anything but soaking brushes. So now your soap has a home in my Van der Hagen bowl, which is pretty special to me. I've had this for quite some time. Now, let's move on to scent. The scent is phenomenal. He calls it mahogany. I would say it's definitely got a woodsy scent. I would also say that it is a sweet woodsy scent. I pick up on a lot of cherry, a lot of specifically cherry scent to it. It's not cherry in the term of like a Cavendish tobacco type of a cherry, but like a sweet wood, almost like a briar type of a smell, but not quite as briar-like. It definitely has a hardwood type of a smell to it, but just a little bit more on the sweet side with the cherry, a little bit of a dominant cherry smell with a woodsy back note is the best way I could describe the scent. I really enjoyed it. Now, when you smell the puck, it's strong. And you can actually, I didn't really pick up on it before I shaved, you could actually smell the sweet note on it as well. Now, after I've shaved with it, I could definitely tell that there's a sweet note to the scent of this. I really enjoyed it. The scent not only held true to the puck, but also to the lather that was on my face and neck. It really did hold the scent very well in the lather itself. So as far as scent goes, I have to say that's a very strong point of this soap. Let's move on now to lather. It has been, I can't even tell you the last time I shaved with a melt and pour soap alone without using it as like a super lather or an uber lather where I'm mixing it with a cream or I'm mixing it with a hard puck of soap and I'm just using a melt and pour by itself. I cannot even tell you. I mean, it's in the matter of years. It's not in the matter of months or weeks. It's years since I've used a melt and pour by itself. So I went into this a little bit nervous, to be quite honest, because I haven't done it in quite some time, and I said, you know, I don't really know what to expect going into this, so I went in blind. I remember though when I used to use melt and pours on a regular basis, I would tend to prefer to use my bore brushes. So I broke out my old, and I haven't used this in quite a few months, I would say, my Badger and Blade. I hate to even give them the props that I just gave them for that brush, but I do really like that Omega Badger and Blade brush. They made a very fine brush in that. Bore, I believe it's about probably 20 to 22 millimeter knot on it, and it's just a workhorse of a brush. It's awesome. So I went to town using my orange handled Badger and Blade brush, loaded for about, I want to say, a little bit more than 60 seconds. Enough that I had enough lather. As you could see, it kind of dried on the top of it, where I could see I had loaded adequately onto the brush, and that a lather was actually starting to form in the bowl itself, nice and creamy and thick. So at that point, you know, I wet my face and said, okay, cross the fingers, let's see what happens, because it's been a long time since a melt and pour has touched my face. So I'm going to town on my face, and surprisingly enough, it was awesome. I could not find one flaw or fault with that lather, not one. If I had a blindfold on, and someone lathered me up and then took the blindfold off and said, is that a melt and pour, is that a tallow based, or is that a vegetable based lather, I honestly couldn't tell you the difference. I didn't feel it it wasn't airy, it wasn't foamy, it was very thick cushioning, it was very dense is the word I'll use. There was no pockets of like air pockets. It was just very dense and very, very, very nice. It was a very nice lather. So as far as lather goes, scent held very well in it. It lathered very easily on my face. I did not need to hit the puck again. I was able to get 4 passes with this with a 60-second load, and I still rinsed a ton of lather down my sink. So that being said, lather, thumbs up. I can't say enough about it. Maybe I should be giving melt and pour soaps a little bit more of a go than I have been over the last probably a year or longer. I really haven't been giving melt and pours really much attention. Maybe I should. This actually kind of changed my mind a little bit about melt and pour soaps. So moving forward, let's talk about Glide. Now, lather stability was another thing I just forgot to mention. The lather stability was adequate. It did break down a little bit, not enough that I could still see complete whiteness on my face and neck. There was no blank spots where I was able to see pink through, so it was adequate, but it did not stay as thick as it did when I initially applied. As I took my time shaving, the lather did subside on my face a bit. So when I got, to my neck, the glide, it was fine. I used my Double Duck Satin Baby today. I'm 5/8, and freshly stropped and nice and sharp. And I'm going to town, shaving my neck. I always start on my right side, go to the left, do my right cheek down the center. And by the time I got to my left side, I was waiting for it to be dry on this side. I anticipated it, and it wasn't. It actually held its consistency, even though that it dissipated a little bit, or better put, I don't know if dissipated is a great word. The lather had actually just maybe decreased a little bit, is maybe a better way to put it. It just didn't stay as fluffy as it was when I first applied it. But the glide stayed perfectly fine. So the slickness took that 5/8 Satin Baby Double Duck right across my face. No hang-ups, no tugging, no pulling. All I heard was the singing of hair coming off of my face. That's all I heard. For 3 passes full, and a 4th pass that was just my face alone without anything to do with my neck at all. So that being said, let's call it 3.5 instead of 4 passes. So for 3.5 passes plus a ton of lather down the sink, I had no problems. Glide was great, lather was great, scent held true. I'm not crazy about your packaging. I'll be honest with you, I'm not crazy about it. Daniel did say I was at liberty to talk about a little bit about the price point. He is selling these pucks for, it seems to be $10 per puck. I would say that he's at the ballpark. He's in the ballpark for a melt and pour soap that smells great, lathers great, holds the retention of the lather, and has very good glide to it that doesn't go away, so to speak. Tallow soaps, I have some issues sometimes with it drying up. This, I had no issues. Glycerin has a tendency to bring moisture into itself, so that might have contributed to why the glide was so great with this, and then why it stuck around for so long. So $10, you're in the ballpark. I'd rather see it for $12, $13. I'd be more apt to buy it, or even $15 if it came in aluminum tin. Obviously understand it costs money to make the soap. I'm at the liberty to say that for the mahogany scent, it's actually a fragrance oil, not an essential oil, that gives it the aroma and scent of the mahogany soap. It's a fragrance oil, not an essential oil. I'm not going to get into the difference of the two, other besides to say that it's a fragrance oil and not an essential oil. Now the bay rum, which is this guy right here, this is an essential oil that went into this to give the fragrance to the bay rum, which I'll be reviewing in the next couple days. I'm not going to do them back to back. I'm probably going to do it towards the end of the week. But hopefully that gives you a little insight into a new soap company that will be starting to be introduced into the market that you're going to start seeing a lot more of. I know Joey Gabbert has been posting a lot of Diamond Bar soap reviews and a lot of Shave of the Days with Diamond Bar soaps. Today I get to post a Shave of the Day with it as well. So that being said, I hope that gave you a little insight into Diamond Bar soaps, and specifically into the mahogany scent. Finishing notes, I actually used L'Occitane's Bucks Aftershave, cream balm to soothe. It has a very woodsy smell to it. It's actually supposed to smell like cypress, like the cypress tree. I would have to say I agree with it. It does smell exactly pretty much like cypress, and it complements and has that nice sweet woodsy smell that the mahogany soap did. I'm also wearing the box. Sorry, I'm going to come out of frame for a second. I'm also wearing the box Eau de Cologne, or Eau de Toilette. Sorry, said Eau de Toilette. I'm wearing the matching scent as well, and I have to say it's a wonderful scent, and it complements the mahogany soap just so well, just because it has that sweet vanilla, cypress, woodsy tone to it that complements the mahogany scent wonderfully well. I'm sure if you contact Daniel Sutherland on the Wet Shaver Review, talk to him about his soap, I'm sure he'll answer any questions that you may have, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to sell you a couple pucks of soap as well. That being said, I'm Aaron Schechter from the Wet Shaver Review and 365shaves.com. Thank you for watching. As always, God bless and get your shaves on. Take it easy. Bye-bye.